we didn't provide treatment services. We referred kids to treatment, and we were honestly very frustrated with that because oftentimes and we were very frustrated with it. I think in part because our philosophy, our approach really did look at adolescent development, family issues, how kids were doing in the system, their mental health issues, their legal issues, and their drug and alcohol issues, and how that all fit within all those parts. And then we would, try and craft a recommendation about what they, but oftentimes what they needed wasn't there at all. And it would be that they really needed family therapy, or there were barriers to them getting it. The only thing that was available, if they could access the treatment services, might be a multifamily group or a once-a-week group that they would go to. So a lot of the kids that we would recommend for treatment services, they might go once, or they might never get there at all. So the county, every 5 years when they have a contract, they put it out there for someone else to go for it. And there was a contract available, not very big, to provide treatment services. And we felt like, since we weren't happy, be careful about who I'm talking about. But since what was available didn't always fit the needs of a lot of the kids that we served, that we wanted to go for that. So then Lisa decided that she had, that she really wanted to look into like what would be the best fit. And you want to talk a little bit about that process?
Yeah, so specifically the RFP, it was looking at helping minority youth in corrections, and I'm from Madison, Wisconsin, and I've seen my city change. So I was like, we're not effectively addressing the needs of these youths, and these programs don't address the cultural component, and I just felt that was so crucial, and the piece of us not doing the treatment was really hard for me because I'd get involved in these families' lives, and then they'd make this connection, but I would see the need to do more, and I wanted to go more into that because it's what these kids and families need. So it was heartbreaking on some level to know that you were referring them to a program that was 12-step, or they didn't know how to address that cultural piece, or at least, just kind of maybe even ignored that. So kind of looking at the research, MDFT called to me the most because I looked at ACRA, and I think that was really MET, CBT.
Because we had, we had done some things to incorporate some evidence-based practices. So we had, we were familiar with
motivational interviewing.
Yeah, and
Teen Intervene.
Yeah, and the whole cannabis use treatment series.
Right.
And so we had some information about what were some of the evidence-based practices out there.
But then kind of just knowing what this RFP was looking at, and kind of just for myself, what spoke to me was MDFT, and the fact that the studies were done specifically with Latino and African American youth. I didn't see a lot of that in the other research, and just then the whole ecological perspective, all the domains that just fit so much with our philosophy of thinking. So it just made sense in my brain. I'm like, this is a no-brainer, and I gave the group, I said, you know what, this is kind of what I think is the best.
And I, so I was in the role there where I'm the, kind of administrator of the program, and so have to look at cost and have to look at time commitments. And even though we're part of the University of Wisconsin Hospital and Clinics, we have always been on a tiny shoestring budget, so we you know, to do the program, I mean, I certainly did consider, like, how many families are we going to be able to say we can serve, and how much time is this going to take, and, you know, could we do something else where I could say that we would serve 3 times as many families, and you know, we already were doing some of those kinds of things, but you know, I mean, I think we knew that, you know, for the families that we really wanted to serve, that some of the other evidence-based approaches, which you know, for a lot of kids that we see, you know, a brief intervention is very effective. But for the families that really needed these services that we weren't able to find services for, you know, we really knew that this was a perfect fit, because you know, we know, like, that all of those things have to be addressed.